Hello and welcome back to another video. I'm your girl Pauline, and today we are talking about microloc regrets. 3 DIY mistakes you need to avoid in 2026. Okay, we're about to enter 2026 and I want to make sure that you get it right. I got you. Let's just say that not everyone who starts microloc should start them by DIYing it. Not everyone is going to want to have to pay somebody to do their microlocs. And some of you guys are very capable, some aren't. But if you are thinking about doing it yourself, I want to give you some tips to avoid and just things to consider when you're getting ready to DIY your microlocs. But I want to make sure that you avoid these mistakes that seem small in the beginning, but they become very expensive later if you decide to then let somebody take care of them for you. So today, I'm breaking down the top 3 microloc regrets I see behind the chair when people come to me and want me to care for their locks. And I'm going to basically talk about what to expect and how you can avoid it. So let's get into it, okay? For those of you who are new here, I know every time I start my videos, I just get straight to the point. But for those of you who are new here, I'm Pauline, Master Cosmetologist and Microloc Sisterloc Educator. And I work with lock clients every single week who come to see me and get their locks taken care of. Okay. So I love microlocs and I love talking about locks in general, not just microlocs, any locks. I love talking about locks. And I just like to share what people should know about their locks before getting started. Okay, so one of the main regrets I see when people start their own DIY microlocks or sister locks or, any locks is improper grid and parting. Okay, so that's the number one regret I see. And this is the biggest one, to be honest, just improper grid and parting. Your grid is your lock's blueprint. And once it's locked in, it is locked in. So when people DIY micro locks, they often focus on the number of locks, how small they want them to be, and how fast they want to be done. But they don't some people, not everybody, because I've seen some DIY micro locks that's been the bomb diggity, okay? But some people don't really focus on the parts and the grids. And then later on, when they want to do more things with their locks, then they start regretting how they start. So, what they don't focus on is the head shape, which is a big deal, density distribution, growth pattern, and the tension balance, right? And that's how you end up with crooked rows, uneven spacing, heavy corners, pretty much sparse edges that won't support the lock long term. Because y'all just thinking about the lock strands and not necessarily the parts, right? Think of it like this. Think of it like building a house. You can decorate it very nicely, make it very beautiful, but if the foundation is uneven, the cracks will eventually show. Some common mindset I see from DIYers is that, oh, it looks fine now. And I'm like, yes, it does look fine now. But with microlocks exposes inconsistencies over time. And as your hair grows, the grid doesn't adjust. So how your parts don't adjust, but sometimes it gets worse. Okay. And some of the things that people complain about that they regret is that the locks um, start, maybe the locks aren't part properly, and then some of them start to merge if it's not taken care of properly. Some people experience thinning at the root when the parts are off. Retightenings can take longer when the parts are off. Repairs can be costly that could have been avoided, but you end up dealing with costly repairs. So if you're not trained in intentional grid mapping, this is not the place to start experimenting, okay? A clean grid is not about perfection. It's about balance and sustainability over time for your microlocs. Because think about it. You're not just doing a quick style. You're doing something that's going to last for years to come, all right? All right. So the second regret that I see with DIYers is that they end up making the locks too small, and the lock size can be inconsistent, like inconsistent lock size. So a lot of times people just see other people's hair and they just see a lot of locks. So they say, "Oh, I want a gazillion locks on my head too," but you're not taking into account your density, your thickness, and all of that stuff. So people end up putting locks that are way too small in their head. So that's the biggest thing I see is people going too small and inconsistent with sizes. Smaller is not always better, especially when it's not consistent. Some of the reasons why this happens is that DIYers usually start doing one or two things, right? You either start bigger and then you panic and then you go smaller, or you start small and get tired and then rush the rest of the process. So you see one side of the head small, one side of the head bigger, inconsistency all over the place. And so now you end up having three different lock sizes, uneven tension, and lock aging at different rates. Here's the thing. Each microlock carries a weight load, right? If one lock is supporting more hair than another, it will mature differently. It will retighten differently in some cases. And sometimes, in some cases, it will age differently, right? Or mature differently. So over time, that imbalance shows up as thinning locks, maybe weak points, or sometimes breakage near sometimes the hairline, sometimes the root. It all depends. And the common statement I hear often is that, oh, I didn't realize how small was too small. I didn't realize I was making it that small. I just wanted a lot of locks. But the reality is, micro locks are not about how many locks you have, they're about whether your hair can support that number of locks long term. So you have to think about long term. A lot of people just think about quick, right? But you're not thinking 5 years, 10 years from now, especially that our hair sheds 80 to 100 strands per day. When you lock your hair, now the strands are shedding within the lock. If you're locked 5, 10 years, that's 5, 10 years of hair that's shedded, that is in the lock, that goes nowhere, right? So over time, if your locks cannot support the number of locks or cannot support the weight, it becomes a problem over time. So, when you're getting ready to lock, your lock size should be determined by your hair density, the strand thickness, or the diameter of your strands. Your lifestyle, what will you be doing? Are you someone who likes ongoing maintenance? What's the frequency that you want? You have to think about those. Even your maintenance commitment, think about what can you commit to, what can you handle without it being too much on you, what you can manage. So you want to consider those things before locking, before doing them so small when you know you can't maintain them, or don't have the time or the capacity. So just think about that, because I know it might seem like locks is this trend, but it's not a trend. It's not, where you start comparing and looking at someone else's locks and seeing, oh, they have this many locks, let me do that many too, because it's going to look different. So do it based on what you're working with, not what others are working with. Okay. All right. So the third regret I see people have is just the product pitfalls or the over manipulation of their locks. Like some people, because they don't know too much about how to start, how to maintain, they use a bunch of products and over manipulate their locks to where at the end, or down the road, they end up regretting how they start, or just the damage that they do to their hair over time. So the you have to really consider that. Some of the things that DIYers are told or they start doing when you start your locks is that you will hear, especially my folks who stay on YouTube, it's not a bad thing, just be mindful. But you'll hear, use this oil, don't use that oil, miss your hair daily, miss your hair this number of time, twist it more so it locks faster. You'll hear all type of stuff, but you have to keep in mind that your micro locks or your locks can't do what everybody locks are doing. You don't know what stage their locks are in when they gave that, those suggestions. You don't know what they're working with, what type of scalp conditions they're working with. Some people oil from the jump, some people don't. Like, you really have to know what can your hair handle and what can it not handle. But micro locks don't need more. Okay, when you get your locks, it does not need more, they need precision. Okay. they need the care that is best for your hair, not what is best for everyone else on the YouTuber sphere, okay? Or Instagram, Facebook, or whatever. All right. So, just be mindful of the type of advice that you get. If you're not speaking, if you're not having a professional looking at your hair, an expert looking at your hair and telling you what you need for your hair, because a lot of times the advice that you're getting it from people who are just doing what's best for them, and so it might not necessarily work for you, because people who do a bunch of oiling, you just got to be mindful that heavy oils causes buildup. Sticky products can slow down the locking process. Constant twisting and retightening, if you don't know the proper tension to use, can cause thinning over time. Scalp irritation, mistaken for a growth phase, or some people just don't know too much. So you got to be mindful of what are you applying to your hair, what information that you're getting that you're applying to your hair, and does it fit? Is it a good fit for you and your lifestyle, your hair, your scalp, and everything else? Think about those things, because microlocks are fragile in the beginning, and every unnecessary touch weakens the foundation, can cause damage. The products that you use can cause damage to your follicles, can clog up your follicles, and if your follicles get damaged, your hair gets damaged overall. So just be mindful. Okay. All right. Don't just think about the impact that you're causing to your lock strands, but think about the impact you're causing to the scalp as well, because when the scalp is overloaded, your follicles can become stressed and the growth cycle can be disrupted. Retightenings become more uncomfortable because your scalp is uncomfortable. So be mindful of what you apply to your hair and what information you're going to take for yourself. I get people who tell me that, oh, my microlocks are thinning, but I take really good care of them, so I don't know why they're thinning. You have to understand that care without understanding can still cause damage to your hair. You have to understand why you do what you do to your hair, okay, and to your scalp. You can't just do what everyone else is doing, or what worked for you in the past may not work for you now. So understanding is important. So just keep in mind, less product, less manipulation, work with more intention, and your scalp sets the tone for your locks overall. So care for your scalp and it will take care of your hair. All right, so let's recap the three microloc regrets to avoid stepping into 2026, okay? Avoid improper grid and parting. Avoid too small and inconsistent lock size. And avoid product misuse and over manipulation, okay? Listen, I support DIYers. I'm here to help you, but make sure that whatever you're doing what is best for you. Microlocks done well feels effortless. Microlocks done wrong can feel like consistent maintenance and burden for you. All right. Here are some quick tips for people who, if you're deciding you want to DIY your microlocks. Here's some quick tips. Okay. When it comes to the grid and parting, uh, plan ahead, map out your sections to be able to just so you can have some consistency across, right? So plan and map out your sections. When to avoid too small sizes, you might need to do test locks to help you decide what's the best size that's going to work for your hair. And then as product misuse, the best thing I can tell you, less is more. Okay, less is more. Those are some tips that you can utilize. I know it's, not everything, but if you start off with those, that will help you a lot. All right, my loves, I hope this has been helpful for you. If you have been thinking about starting your locks, if you already started and you want to make some changes, go see a professional, go see an expert, someone who knows what they're doing, so you can have the support that you need. Just keep in mind that your lock journey should feel comfortable and aligned, not stressful to you. You want to make, choices and decisions that's going to help you in the long run. Okay. So just do the best you can if you're getting started. Seek some professional help, get guidance, maybe do a consultation to help you along the way. But I hope this was helpful for anyone who is thinking about starting in 2026. Make sure you do all the beautiful things, which is the follow, like, subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Leave your comments below.